How's it going, everyone? It's time to talk some hockey, and after this, you'll see my guy Jim Berenger. He will give on his opinions, his reactions on what's going on in the hockey world. But a lot is going down in Alberta, starting with the Calgary Flames. Jonathan Huberdeau, he was benched for the third period on Tuesday against Nashville when Calgary Flames won 4-2. And it's tough because this guy is in his first year of his 8-year, 84 million extension, and he only has 6 points in 12 games this season. So when he spoke with the media on Wednesday, he admitted that it was a difficult situation, but he took responsibility on his performance and that he knows that he needs to get better. So as a player, you want to be out there, you want to contribute, help your team win, but when you're not performing, you're going to get benched. So that's what happened with Jonathan Huberdeau. I don't know how this is going to play out for the rest of the season, because it's one thing you tell the media something, but then behind closed doors, it could be a totally different thing. Huberdeau, in his 2 years with the Flames, he scored just 17 goals and 61 points over 91 games after he was acquired from the Florida Panthers in exchange for Matthew Tkachuk. So, it's been tough. It's been tough on Jonathan Huberdeau, but I hopefully he bounces back from this and contributes. Edmonton lost to one of the worst teams in the league, the San Jose Sharks, last night, 3-2. They're now 2-9 in the season. Oilers goaltender Jack Campbell, he was placed on waivers. But it's not all his fault, because when Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are on the floor, things are fine. But it's the other guys that have to step up. As soon as those guys leave the ice, it is an abysmal for Edmonton. So consistency has been an issue for them. Jack Campbell, he's 1-4 this season so far. His only victory came against Nashville, which was on October 17th. So it's tough. I mean, 2022 and 2023 postseason, they were eliminated by eventual Stanley Cup champions, Colorado Avalanche and Las Vegas Golden Knights. It's still a long season, but it has not looked so good so far for Edmonton. And they're not even heavily favorites to come out, because you still have the Vegas Golden Knights and even the Kings right there competing with them. And speaking of the Kings, their captain, Kopitar, he recently scored number 400 career goals. And it's just an incredible milestone. The 36-year-old center has scored in 3 straight games, and currently he has a 4-game point streak going on. So for this season, he's up to 13 points, 29 shots on net, a +6 rating, 10 block shots, and 8 hits through 12 outings. So he's a veteran, but the Kings with Kopitar, the Kings, they were one of the hottest teams in the early to mid 2010s. But this team, is looking bright so far in their future. Kopitar, he's still got it. And plus those young pieces around him, you got to watch out for the Kings. You got to watch out. So that's all I have to say so far of what's going down in hockey. And here's Jim Berenger with his thoughts on everything that's going on in hockey.
What's going on, everybody? Jim Berenger here, live in Toronto for the MMM Journal. We got a lot to talk about today. Talking about the Edmonton Oilers. Man, what a mess that is. North of the border. Same with the Calgary Flames. And Anze Kopitar continues to do his thing out in LA. Check it out. So we'll begin in Edmonton, the province of Alberta. Since I'm in Canada, why not? Yes, I'm rocking a poppy. It is that time of year. Veterans Day, Remembrance Day weekend, Hockey Hall of Fame weekend. So let's check this out. Edmonton Oilers, they sent Jack Campbell down to the minors, to Bakersfield, to the AHL. This is just not on Jack Campbell. This is a team problem, team defense. And as of this recording, the game between the Sharks and the Oilers have not happened. If the Sharks somehow beat the Oilers, Jay Woodcroft's job is in jeopardy. No doubt about it. Absolutely 100% in jeopardy. And I think it's in jeopardy as it is. The Oilers were a Stanley Cup favorite, a Stanley Cup pick for everybody, go to the final, maybe a rematch of 06 with Carolina. If you listen to the experts, I mean, it was like the Oilers. Well, I mean, the real expert, the real insider, the people's insider, the guy that gives you the knowledge was telling you Vegas was the team to beat out West. Colorado looks pretty good too, but Vegas to me is the team, complete team. You can see it. The Oilers defense just not very good, and it's leaving Jack Campbell. And the onus goes on Stuart Skinner as well. It's not just on Jack Campbell, but you can pick at Jack Campbell because he makes $5 million over the next 3 seasons. I mean, he's got in year 2 of a 5-year deal that pays him $5 million a season. Not good enough. And again, you can thank Cal Peterson in the Phillies organization, but when he was at LA, they gave him 3 times 5 and set the market. But Campbell has to be better. Again, it comes down to goaltending coach, but the team defense isn't good enough. Jay Woodcroft tried to make it team defense better. He did it. This zone +1 is not working. Go back to man. Even then they were getting exposed, but at least it was better. At least they were scoring and protecting leads and figuring out a way to do it. This team is a shell of itself. They were the best team at the trade deadline last year and on. And now, look, they may miss the playoffs. And let's be honest, they could. I mean, they're 20 points behind Vegas already, 13 points behind Vancouver. They lost 3 times to Vancouver. LA's in front of them. So they got a lot of work cut out for them, but they got to protect their own zone first. Again, not on Jack Campbell, but easy target. Maybe this will go help find this game. But Stuart Skinner has to help out. This entire team has to help out, right? So let's go now down the road to Calgary. I think it's up the road. Jonathan Huberdeau, what's going on there? I mean, he's got a lot of problems right now. Look, the Flames, he was benched Tuesday night, entire third period. The Flames, they rallied to win 4-2 over Nashville. Didn't even see the ice, didn't sniff the ice. He hasn't played well since he's come to Calgary. Everybody can point to last year, Darryl Sutter, the system, this and that. He's just not a good player right now, and he's not trusting himself. He's trying to overthink out there. What did Crash Davis say? He said, don't think, just do. Yeah, well, I think he just needs to do and not think enough. And let's be honest, he played with a lot of good players, high-tempo offense down in Florida. This ain't it, but he's got to be able to adjust his game, and he knows he has to be better. So we're going to see what happens. But, I mean, he's a shell of himself. He's just got to get out there and start believing in himself. He's saying all the right things, but he is not fine. You can tell behind what he says he is not fine. And he's in year 1 of an 8-year extension that when he was traded, Brad Treliving tried to save face because Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk were gone. And now look at that trade. Florida. I mean, Florida was getting killed. Oh, how can you send Huberdeau and Weegar? They won that trade and clearly are winning that trade. I don't know if it'll ever bounce back. Then you go to L.A., California dreaming. How about those Road Kings, man? L.A. on the road. Something about the road for L.A. 7-0 this year. They got a tough one against Pittsburgh. We'll see what happens. But Anze Kopitar, career goal number 400. This guy just keeps going. He's got a new extension. This Kings team, they're playing, I mean, with Quentin Byfield on that line, man, they're driving it for him. Kempe, too. I mean, these guys are playing really well together. That top line is cooking. You got Drew Doughty, Mikey Anderson on the back end as well. Cam Talbot looks like himself. Man, LA looks like a juggernaut in the Pacific Division. And if Vegas is going to come back to the pack, I mean, they just beat up on Vegas. And I just said before they were one of the best teams in the Western Conference. If that's going to happen, man, look, LA could win this thing too. I mean, they look like a Stanley Cup contender right now. Again, it's early, but sometimes it gets late early for some teams, as Yogi likes to say. But Anze Kopitar, career goal number 400. he's got a spot in the Hockey Hall of Fame when he calls it a career. Guy's a monster. One of the best players ever to do it, Slovenian-born player. So good on Kopitar. But look, the noise is out in Edmonton. It's out in Calgary. It's up in Ottawa. There's a lot of things going on in the National Hockey League right now. But this has been Jim Berenger, MMM Journal. Take care. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the hockey, people, and enjoy Hockey Hall of Fame weekend. I'll be reporting live for you whenever I can. Take care.